Today we're going to finish up this rocker panel rust repair. After grinding these welds down lightly with a 36 or 24 grit fiber resin disc, this one's cut down on a small grinder. After grinding them down just very lightly, we're going to tap down this seam. We want to tap down the seam so that we have a nice layer of filler between the seam and the finish. So we're just going to take a pointy hammer like this and just, I don't know, about a 1/16 of an inch, or the thickness of a sheet of metal actually, we're going to knock this down and then we're going to fill it. You can use regular filler or waterproof fiberglass reinforced filler. Might work just a little bit better. I never found really that much of a difference between the two. But anyway, let's knock this down and fill it. And that's good. I saw that go down a little bit. I just put a little ding right there. 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 I'm just putting a series of dings, and that'll give it that space. That'll give space for the filler to fill that in real nicely. At the top of the patch, this metal was fit underneath the original metal, so we don't have to worry about knocking that down. After preparing the surface with a fiber resin disc, 24 or 36 grit, you'll never have a problem with the filler cracking, falling out, or peeling. Now most of this is going to be coming off using a cheese grater blade, but I want to make sure I have enough on there to cover any low spots. Just before the filler hardens, you can take off some excess filler with a Stanley Surform. This is called like a cheese grater blade, but it's $21,299. And I'm just gonna take off these ridges right now. So you can drag it across there. And the door, I can't go like this because the door will hit it, but just like that. And I'm just taking off the ridges right now. And this will make it much easier to sand. Here's a close-up shot of that excess filler that was cheese grated off. Next, we'll be using an air file with fresh 40 grit on it. I've never used anything but fresh 36 or 40 grit for filler. You wouldn't want to use 80 grit on this air file because it just wouldn't cut through that filler. That's why they make this stuff right here. This is for filler, for body filler. 36 or 40 grit for a longboard or for an air file. This is made for filler. On something large like this, you'll usually find some high spots. So before the second application of filler, go ahead and knock those down. This is now the second application, and we should get it real close with this. And you can see the low spots. They'll probably come out as we cheese grade this. And we do have a bit of a whoosh, and then it curves down a little bit more severe there. I'm being real light on this cheese grater right now. Real light. We'll leave that, let it harden a bit, and come back and sand it with this medium-sized board with some fresh 40 grit on it after it hardens. Here's a close-up shot of that before we hit it with the 40 grit. Here's a closer shot of that. After I hit it with the 80 grit and prime it, I'll be back. Here's a shot of that rocker panel with 2 coats of primer surfacer. Now we'll cut this in so we can throw on the fender. Here's a quick shot of the back of the fender before we install it. It was cleaned up real well and undercoated with Cosmoline RP342 black. Once we pull this dent, I think our gap between the fender and the door will be just fine. I hope you enjoyed this video on repairing rocker rust with a homemade patch panel. If you did, and you'd like to get my latest videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.